You can edit that. Huh?
Hello, Ray.
Hello, David.
How are you, mate?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Let's talk about your legacy. What are you leaving us?
Legacy. I'm not leaving. I'm not in a hurry. You never know. That's the weird thing about life. You don't know what's waiting around the corner for you.
Oh, I love your smile. How old are you now?
83.
Going on
And
16.
some months. Going on 6. Going in reverse.
I really appreciate you in my life, Ray.
Me, you.
You've got a nice, joyful wisdom.
Thank you.
Not like a grumpy old man.
I'm that too.
Huh? No, you're playful and fun. Tell us about time in your life.
So, several years ago, almost quite a few now, I was visiting my son in the States, and he was doing a course on health coach. And amongst the literature was a piece, it was an old Harvard Business Review journal. And the headline was, "Many years went into preparing us to enter the world of work. Nothing's been done to prepare us to leave it." And I thought, hey, there's a gap in the market. So I started thinking about what might people need to know? What aren't they aware of yet? When they suddenly find themselves out of a job, out of that routine they've been to, that famous 9 to 5 song, and suddenly it's not there. And now they're home and they're busy micromanaging their wives and putting more stress on their relationships. And it occurred to me that there was a fair amount available. There were a lot of workshops being run on the financial implications. But nothing was being done about the lifestyle of somebody who's dramatically gone through a major transition. And it seems from the literature that that transition is no less traumatic than loss of a loved one, moving house, divorce, and moving countries. They're all pretty traumatic events and they strike people at different levels, but it's something that needs attention, it needs preparing, and it needs planning for. Retirement's kind of been taken for granted. Suddenly, life seems to end at 65. You work your arse off, and one day you wake up and you don't have a job anymore. And the weird thing is, when the age 65 was pegged, are you aware of the history? Otto von Bismarck, who was the Chancellor of Prussia, was faced with a more of a problem because the Industrial Revolution had just taken hold and people were dying at their machines. Life expectancy then was 49. When he pitched retirement age, and I think it was 70 that he pitched it at, it wasn't too much of a burden for the state to take on to support people until they died after they'd finished work. So that was the idea of the pension scheme. And that age 65 has been pegged, it's long outlived its sell-by date. And so people find that they are forced by their pension fund rules to leave their work. And the way life expectancies run now, they've got a good 30 years ahead of them. That's as much of an adult lifespan as they've already experienced. So it's kind of doubling their life. One wonders what the hell is the significance of that. Some people long for the day that they will retire and travel the world and play golf and play bowls and then what? You can't play golf every day of your life and be happy. And I've been wondering a lot around the fact that most of us have lived, well, maybe not most of us, but many of us in our circle have lived privileged lives. And in actual fact, they've incurred some kind of a debt to society. So, how about using those 35 years to give something back, to do stuff for other people, to be able to make a difference? And when you were talking about legacy, kind of with the tongue in your cheek.
There was no tongue in my cheek, I promise you. I was serious, mate.
So, the legacy isn't what you're going to leave to enrich your kids. It has more to do with, and Nelson Mandela referred to it in one of his speeches, around living your life in such a way that you inspire others, that they will remember you long after you've gone. And for each one of us, that kind of legacy could be as unique as we are and different from each other. So it's a question of living your life with purpose. It's a question of living your life in such a meaningful way that people will remember you. Legacy has something to do with remembering. So that your life has been significant, that has been influential. And what a fantastic opportunity it is for people. And if we look at how the country is at the moment with its desperate needs, there's so much that individuals can do in the field of education, there's so much that people can do in the field of addiction, there's so much that people can do in a variety of human fields to make a difference, to inspire, and to get real joy out of life. And like they say in the Western Transvaal, fluit, my story is uit.
Tell me how your program works. The logistics.
Yeah. So the way it works now, for organisations, we're doing a 2-day program. That 2-day program covers, in very short form, a number of lifestyle issues. And we've, as a theoretical underpinning, we've designed the program to address what's been described by a colleague of Tony Robbins. Her name is Chloe Madanas, and she's put together a model of the 6 basic universal human needs. And in some ways they kind of resemble Maslow's hierarchy of needs. They go a lot further. So,
the first need is Wi-Fi, you know that.
What's that?
The first need is Wi-Fi.
Okay, so then there's 7.
Oh shit, okay.
So that's the overarching one. The first need actually is oxygen. Before and then comes Wi-Fi. So the 6 needs are around certainty, which is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The bottom of the triangle was survival. We need to be certain that we have a roof over our heads, that we know where our next meal is coming from, that we have clothes to wear. And by and large, most of us manage to get those needs met very quickly. And the moment the survival needs are met, we don't give them too much more attention. And if we don't find some kind of variety in our lives, we get bored. So we need variety. That's the second. The third need is around significance. Who I am makes a difference. Who I am has meaning. You know, one of the things we do in the workshop is in a module designed to enable people to discover what their real purpose is, or maybe rediscover it. One of the things we do is show a video called Conception to Birth. It's a modeling of what happens from the moment a baby is conceived till it is born.
You dirty old man.
It's wonderful. It's amazing. It's astounding. The guy who put it together won a Nobel Prize. He was a mathematician, and he says in the video how awestruck he is by the most amazing complexity of what goes to creating this little baby. And we show it to people and we say, that's what made you. Do you think with that amazing amount of complexity that you, at the moment of birth, in that little body of yours, it contained 60,000 miles of tubing, every inch of it, every millimeter of it in place. You couldn't have been made by accident. There must be a reason that you're on earth. And your reason is different from everyone else's. So what's your purpose? Nice, eh?
Lovely. That you've got was actually.
So, yeah. So that's around discovering purpose. That's around recognizing your significance. And of course, once those needs are being met, then it's not okay to be alone. You have a drive, you have a need to have love and connection. So, and that's again, this is Maslow's second level. And then there's a fifth need around progress, around recognizing that we're growing, around the fact that we need to improve on a daily basis.
To wrap it up, we're running out of battery.
Okay, so we're running out of battery. Right, the sixth need is contribution. And now my story is out.
Okay, so what are we going to do? Okay, it's done.